My name is Jay's a Dragon, and welcome to my build guide series where I will explain how to build the X-Men as playable characters in 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. This video is timestamped so you can skip to where you need, with a link in the description for the written version. My disclaimers are as follows. Official, third party, UA, homebrew, in that order. Mechanics over description, flavor is always optional. Builds work in every tier of play. And lastly, magic items are not requirements for a build to work.
Elizabeth Betsy Braddock, aka Psylocke, is two women in one body. Betsy was a telepath that fell and was taken in by the Hand, who swapped her mind with that of the Japanese assassin Kanon. Initially in flux between personalities and brainwashed into a killer, the psyche of Betsy eventually won out and managed to keep both her ninja training and her psychic abilities, though the imprint of Kanon wasn't gone from her personality. Psylocke is an expert martial artist, has limited precognition, and is a powerhouse of a telepath and telekinetic near to the level of Jean Grey. With her signature psychic knife, Psylocke is able to focus her telepathy into a concentrated knife-sized beam that she uses to disrupt the functions of the brain, which can leave her targets comatose but alive if she so chooses. By channeling her telekinetic power, Psylocke can conjure an energy katana capable of cutting through almost any physical matter. Using Point Pie, I gave Psylocke 8, 15, 14, 8, 12, 14, with a +1 in dexterity and a +2 in charisma. Kalishtar is used as race, reflecting the dual minds within Psylocke. Gain advantage on all wisdom saves, resistance to psychic damage, and a 60-foot two-way telepathy. Stealth and deception come from the criminal background. Perception, insight, acrobatics, and sleight of hand come from the rogue class. And from the Book Van Richten's gain a dark gift, Echoing Soul. Gain 2 skills, here choosing Persuasion and Intimidation, and 1 language from Kanon. But roll on the Intrusive Echoes table for a detrimental effect after rolling a 1 on an attack, check, or save. Roll a d6 to determine the side effect. On a 1, become charmed by a creature of the DM's choosing for 1 minute or until damaged. On a 2, become frightened by a creature of the DM's choosing for 1 minute or until damaged. On a 3, become blinded until the end of your next turn, perceiving another time or place. On a 4, speed is halved until the end of your next turn, perceiving another time or place. On a 5, become incapacitated until the start of your next turn, overcome with memories and sensations. And on a 6, you have 1 good possible outcome. Re-roll the d20 you got a 1 on that triggered this feature, taking the new result. This dark gift is obviously a burden, but it's thematic and can lead to high drama in play. The drawbacks are greatly mitigated by the reliable talent feature gained later on, making all proficient checks unable to be rolled under a 10. Rogue Level 1. Expertise. Double your proficiency bonus on your 2 most relevant skills, choosing Stealth and Acrobatics. Sneak Attack. Add Sneak Attack damage dice on a weapon attack once per turn if the attack has advantage, or your target has another enemy adjacent to it and you don't have disadvantage. Scales with level and rogue. Rogue Level 2. Cunning Action. You can now use Dash, Disengage, and Hide as bonus actions. Rogue Level 3. Soulknife Archetype. Psionic Power. You have a secondary resource that fuels your subclass abilities. Have proficiency bonus ×2 number of dice. D6s for now, that grow with levels and restore after a long rest. And have a bonus action to regain 1 dice, once every short rest. Psi Bolstered Knack. If you fail a skill or tool check with which you have proficiency, add a psionic energy dice to the result. Does not cost a reaction, and if the bonus doesn't result in a success, you keep the psi dice. Psychic Whispers. Gain telepathic communication with proficiency bonus number of creatures for a psionic energy dice number of hours within a range up to a mile. Psychic Blades. On an attack action, create 1 or 2 finesse and thrown d6 weapons that deal psychic damage and allow a bonus action melee or thrown d4 attack. Steady Aim. Gain a bonus action to have advantage on an attack if you take no movement this turn. And Sneak Attack damage dice increases to 2d6. Rogue Level 4. ASI. +2 Dexterity, now at 18. Rogue Level 5. Uncanny Dodge. If you can see the attacker reaction to have the damage of an attack that hits you. Sneak attack damage dice increases to 3d6, and psionic energy dice increases to a d8. Rogue level 6, Expertise. Pick 2 more skills to gain 2 times proficiency bonus, Perception and Insight. Rogue level 7, Evasion. Take no damage from successful dex saves that would normally cause half, or only half on failed dex saves. Sneak attack damage dice increases to 4d6. Rogue level 8, ASI, plus 2 dexterity, now at 20. Rogue level 9, Soul Blades. Gain 2 new uses of your psionic energy dice. Homing Strikes. Add a psi energy dice roll to your attack roll, avoiding a missed sneak attack. It doesn't take your reaction, and if the attack still misses, you don't expend the psi energy dice. Psychic Teleportation. Bonus action to throw your Soulknife a distance equal to 10 times psi energy dice, so as low as 10 feet but as high as 80 feet, and increasing with levels. Sneak attack damage dice increases to 5d6. Rogue level 10, ASI, Sentinel Feat. Gives you a reliable source of reaction sneak attacks when standing next to an ally that gets targeted. Work with a frontliner like Wolverine and you can double your DPR. Rogue level 11, Reliable Talent. Ability checks with proficiency can't be lower than a 10. Sneak attack damage dice increases to 6d6, and psionic energy dice increases to a d10. Rogue level 12, ASI, Mage Slayer Feat. Gives you an edge against casters stuck within 5 feet of you, further compounded by Sentinel not letting them walk away. Rogue level 13, Psychic Veil. Standard action to become invisible for 1 hour, or until you attack or force a saving throw. Usable once a day for free, or more if you expend a psi energy dice. And sneak attack damage dice increases to 7d6. Rogue level 14, Blind Sense. You automatically detect any hidden or invisible creatures within 10 feet. Rogue level 15, Slippery Mind. Gain Wiz Save proficiency to pair with your racial Wiz Save advantage. And sneak attack damage dice increases to 8d6. Rogue level 16, ASI, plus 2 in Charisma, now at 18. Rogue level 17, Rend Mind. Upon inflicting a sneak attack, you can cause the stun condition versus Wiz Save for up to 1 minute. Usable once per day or more if you expend 3 psi energy dice. Sneak attack damage dice increases to 9d6, and your psionic energy dice increases to a d12. You've gotten the full breadth of things you need from the Rogue class, including a great subclass capstone in Rend Mind. While the last 3 levels of Rogue aren't bad, you can instead finish out as a spellcaster to better complement what you already do so well. Multiclassing now over to Warlock. Warlock level 1. Take the Archfey Patron. Fey Presence. You have an AoE charm or frighten effect. Both have applications in or out of combat, and usable once per short rest. Learn 2 cantrips. Mind Sliver. Throw a telepathic kunai that causes psychic damage and a save decrease. Friends. Put on your Crimson Dawn mark and gain advantage on your telepathic influence. And spells learned. Fairy Fire. TK butterflies light up an area, causing gaps in their defenses. Sleep. Telepathically induce sleep, avoiding or ending a confrontation. Warlock level 2. Learn 2 invocations. Eldritch Mind. Concentration save advantage. And Armor of Shadows. This is mage armor at will, to be traded up next level for a different invocation. Spells learned. Mage armor from the invocation, and any other first level to also be traded up next level. Warlock level 3. Chain Pact. Gain a Sprite Familiar, your psionic butterfly. It keeps near and provides you with sneak attack conditions. Trade up a previous invocation to add Investment of the Chainmaster. Use your Warlock DC with your Familiar's abilities. Spells learned. Find Familiar from the Pact Boon. Flock of Familiars. Swarm more TK butterflies for battlefield control or psychic scouting. Mirror Image. Produce convincing duplicates of yourself as you dash between them. Magic Item Wishlist. +1, 2, or 3 Short Sword, your secondary weapon and option for reaction attacks. +1, 2, or 3 Light Armor. Uncommon Glamour Weave. Illusory butterflies as a part of your clothing. Boots of Elvenkind. Move noiselessly and have advantage on stealth. Shard Solitaire, Ruby. Additional charges of Mirror Image and unlimited Misty Steps. and Dragon Touched Focus Gem. Wear as an amulet for a focus while keeping a hand free, and gain these extras per rarity. Initiative advantage. 15-foot teleports with each spell cast. Ralathim's Psychic Lance, and cast a spell like a 9th level once per long rest. Tactics. Psylocke can be a nightmare to enemy casters, masterfully removing major threats before they are able to be effective. Blanket an area and Fairy Fire and getting close on affected targets with Cunning Action Dash or Psychic Teleportation as needed. Sentinel and Mage Slayer combine to force some difficult choices on enemy casters. Casting versus saves at Psylocke have advantage on the save for her. Ranged spell attack rolls have disadvantage while adjacent, and she will get a reaction sneak attack if they cast or flee, even with disengage. Teleporting, if they have it, would safely create distance, but you can't cast with a spell slot in the same round as using Misty Step or similar, and non-spell teleports tend to have finite uses. She has proficiency and advantage on Wiz saves, the most common way of controlling threats, and will either take half or nothing from Dex saves. Add to that, every sneak attack deals an average of 40 damage for a sky-high DC 20 concentration save, nigh impossible for almost any caster, and they have disadvantage on the concentration save. Some enemies never gain a strong Wiz save, which are easy pickings for Rend Mind's 1-minute stun. The stun condition can't be removed by anything but very powerful effects such as Power Word Heal, so chances are high that an affected target will be on their own. Psychic damage is rare to resist, notably the one weak point of Bear Totem Barbarians such as Blob. But she also carries mundane weaponry to deal piercing damage as backup when facing another psychic resistance opponent such as a great old one Warlock like Mojo. Her final levels in the Warlock dip is mainly to shore up having sneak attack conditions with a reaction hit. Sentinel and Mage Slayer are good for granting reaction weapon attacks, but these alone don't guarantee the sneak damage dice. The aforementioned Fairy Fire makes all hits on affected targets have advantage, and most of your 2 pack slots per short rest could go towards keeping uptime on this. Warlock 3 grants you a dependable familiar, making sure you have an ally also within 5 feet of your target. The sprite can also provide the help action for your reaction attacks, or attack with its own weapons, often causing the poison condition or even incapacitation. If all else fails, including the DCs for Fairy Fire or your keeping of its concentration, you can fall back on Mirror Image, making duplicates of yourself that trigger reaction sneak attacks if hit, making for a lose-lose situation if an enemy is deciding to attack you or an ally next to you, with either option resulting in a heavy punish. This concludes my guide on how to play Psylocke. As just a fun extra, if you were to build a mini of Psylocke, this is how she might look. I do hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any thoughts on what you do to improve it, questions, or if you've played this, feedback on how it went, or anything else, please leave a comment. Definitely subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications as I have many more builds on the way. Feel free to join my Discord for X-Men one-shots. And as always, thank you for watching.
Pick a side, pick your poison.